Hello, 20s Academy. We are here in the middle of Goosegrass. Today's guest is Alex Ikonn. A very, very, very well, ground to earth, thought out person. A cool person, down to earth. Mimi Ikonn, Alex Ikonn, nice couple. A lot of takeaways from this video, a lot of things to learn. Jeremy is currently in a different country, enjoying his time with his family. So this week we have Alex Ikonn, and founder of the 5 Minute Journal and the Productivity Planner. So be sure to check it out. A lot of takeaways in this episode, and stay tuned. Get your pens out. Yeah, welcome.
It's actually not doing well. Because YouTube, what YouTube is really good for is for that personal touch. And that's why it's important to actually not to overproduce. Even when you're writing, you write as you're writing to somebody, like a person, like you're writing a letter to a friend. Because that's what really connects now. That's what we're all earning. That's why a lot of eyeballs are switching from professional television into YouTube. So don't try to be this overproduced person that you are, or you may want to be. So quality. Of course, quality of content is still important. Because the second one, so Q quality, the quality of content is important because it's value. That's the second one. But when I talk about value, this is the most important thing, guys. You want to be able to deliver value unconditionally to people. Because the mistake I made earlier on when I tried to make money, I was asking the wrong question. I was asking, how do I make money? That's the wrong question to ask. Nobody cares how you want to make money. Right? Straight up, nobody cares. And the sooner you realize that, the sooner you can actually go ahead. So with value, actually look for how you can deliver value to people. So you can do it in many different ways. In our channel, let's see here, we created hair tutorials for people. Mimi wasn't a hair expert. She was just a regular person. The way she delivered value is by just showing how to do hairstyles as she was learning herself. And I'll get to the point that will connect to that. So what I mean by that, she was just helping people out learn as she was learning as well. And people came. You can do the same thing when you can be entertaining people. You can do comedy. You can just be helping people fill time by talking about something. It can be as simple as that, right? But the most important thing in all of this, quality is one, value is two. The last two are the most important. And that's why I think most people miss out. The third one is C, consistency. And guys, how many people I've met that have, hey, I tried this YouTube thing. I'm like, yeah, how many videos did you make? I made 5 videos. And I stopped. Well, what do you expect? We've been doing videos for the last 6 years. There's close to 400 videos just on that channel. There's probably more than 100 on Mimi's personal channel, right? Mimi puts out content weekly, at least on just videos. They're just on the Luxy Hair channel. Then there's her own channel, which there's 1 to 2 videos a week. Plus there's Instagram. What do you think Instagram taking pictures is that easy? Try taking a picture a day and posting it. I challenge you, if you want to grow your Instagram, post a picture a day for the next 30 days. I can't even do it myself. And I'm Mimi's husband. She taught me, I still can't learn, right? Because I'm not hungry enough for what she's at. She has over 1 million Instagram followers, right? You don't get that by not being inconsistent. You get that by being consistent. She puts out content daily. And same thing about videos. And a lot of you are not able to do that. Why? Simply because you're not hungry enough. Once that hunger actually comes, you will create it. And that's why I want to share that. We were able to grow because we created consistent content on a weekly basis. And we created content that is actually delivers value to people. It was searchable. We were creating content that people were looking for. A simple hack, go into YouTube or Google, type how to, whatever, hair. YouTube will tell you the rest of what people are looking for. You can then create that content. It can be that simple. So with consistency, it's also important to be consistent on message. You still want to be known for something. For us, it was hair. We became specialized in hair. And that's how we were then able to sell our product, which was hair related. So, but the last piece, and the most important piece that I really want to share with you today is, so we have quality, we have value, we have consistency, we have A. What's A? Authenticity. He definitely watched the video. And authenticity is the most important piece that many of us are missing out on. The reason I'm able to be here on stage and just speak to you in the manner I'm talking right now, I'm just being authentic with you guys. Because the matter of fact is, I care to deliver this message, but the most important thing that I want to create here is being myself. I'm not trying to prepare and be all perfect. I'm being me. I'm being myself. And that feels good. And you get to do that when you do that many times. You don't build up your authenticity and be comfortable with who you are right away. Because the reality is, if you want to create any content on any channel, especially social media nowadays because it's hot, you have to get comfortable with yourself. And I understand, even looking yourself in the mirror is tough. It's tough for me as well. But when you do that enough, and you actually edit yourself, edit your own videos, and watch yourself, you actually become more friendly with yourself. With time, you have to be nice to yourself in a certain way, and see how you can improve, and build that relationship with yourself. Because the only way you'll be actually able to connect with people is when you are being yourself, right? And by all means, some people may not like it. There'll be people in the room who are like, I don't get this Alex guy. That's fine. Because I have other part of the room, maybe even be one person who gets it. And to me, that's all that matters. Because in reality, when I create content, I'll say when Mimi creates content, we're creating content for ourselves. You know, so some of you guys who have heard about the 500 Journal, you know, when we created it, I honestly did not create it so that other people will use it. The way you create businesses, where you you have to solve your own problems. And now I created that product for myself. When I create videos, I create them as if I'm talking for myself. So you go to my channel, I'm creating videos for myself. That's it. And with time, you're able to build audience that is similar to yourself. And that's the audience you want. You don't want people who are totally unrelatable to you. Because if people relate to you and you're being authentic, you will then be able to have that better dialogue with them. They'll be able to understand you. They can feel what you feel. And that's why I highly encourage you in all of this. You can have quality. You can be giving people value. You can be consistent. But if you're not being authentic in your message, it'll be hard for you to connect with other people. So overall, this formula that we create, I know that if I'm following this myself, I'm able to grow. And if I'm not, I know it's not growing. So the moment I stop being consistent, the moment I post less pictures or I post less videos, or I'm less consistent even what I'm doing for my business in terms of trying to improve or whatever, I can see right away things going down. But the moment I actually am being consistent, I'm delivering more value to people, and that can be the same thing, like I said, it doesn't just apply to YouTube. If on our website, let's say our business, if we're delivering value to people unconditionally, meaning creating content for people, it can be in written format, which we do, right? And being consistent with it and being authentic with our audience, we get people. So it can be in many various ways. So that's really what I want to share with you, because to me, this is what grounds me all the time. Whenever you want to create, if you want to build something, it's not everybody in this room, But if you do have the calling, the urge to want to be able to share, then this is what you follow. You follow, like I said, creating quality content, but not too high end, not too low end. Just go in the middle. Don't be an overachiever. Create value for people. Be consistent and authentic. So with that, the way I want to close is actually be able to move into Q&A and be able to ask people questions. Because now, because I've been memento, I've been going all over the place, some of you may be confused. And I want to clear those things up to be able to really go directly with you to be able to help you out in that way you can. Because now you know some of my story, you know some of my success, and I now want to be able to help you personally. And I also want my wife, beautiful wife Mimi, to join me on stage.
Your microphone each. So. Thank you once again, Alex.
All that success, how do you stay this humble? Because that's very, very difficult.
It's constant inner work. I just came back from meditation, so it's part of the inner work. Basically, I think regardless of what you do, whether you're a public figure or not, you have to always keep your ego in check. One great book we recently read was Ego is the Enemy. I think you featured it in my favorites. I featured in my favorites. Because that's the thing, if you let the ego get in the way, it could ruin all your opportunities, all your success, all your relationships. But in order to keep ego in check, you have to do a lot of inner work. Nobody else can do it for you. So things like meditation, just spending time alone, journaling, whatever it is that you find interesting or you can commit to. It doesn't have to be meditating for hours and hours, but maybe even sitting quietly for 5 minutes a day to really face yourself and be honest with yourself about what is going on, where you're at. We do that constantly. I challenge myself to do that constantly because if I didn't, my head would get big and then I would ruin it all. I'm very, very conscious of that.
I would just add on to that, like even on stage, I was throwing some stuff, but the reason I was doing that, it wasn't to kind of raise it up. It was more just, I know some people absorb different things. I want to be able to communicate to people. As you know, if you watch us, we usually don't throw out numbers. We don't talk about how big we are. We don't do that. Just to give context to people who have no idea who we are. This is only done for people who don't know. So you just know some numbers. But about overall humbleness, I think it's very important to have people in your life who are honest with you. So we do that to each other. Meaning, like we're all humans. Sometimes our egos also get in the way. But we then talk to each other and be like, hey, like, I really believe how you're acting is actually, say, putting me down or doing something. And then you keep each other in check. And as long as you know that the person that you're with is doing that out of a good place, it's really good. Because the thing is, there are many people in our lives that can be actually good people that can actually provide us good feedback. And Mimi was like, why you, like, always, this is a big secret, I'll let you know. Number one, we sourced through Alibaba for the hair product first. It's actually, I can honestly say we got lucky, right? So the way we went about sourcing is that I've contacted probably every hair manufacturer I saw in Alibaba. I try to have as much conversation as possible with them. Talk on MSN Messenger back, no, it was like MSN Messenger back there. It doesn't exist anymore. And have that conversation. I didn't have any even knowledge of the product. So when you source, you can actually learn a lot about the product and the industry through asking stupid questions. Don't be afraid to ask stupid questions. Don't try to sound like you know the industry. You don't. So I would ask very silly questions. And as I went, I learned so much and I learned how to ask better questions. And then I was able to find a supplier. So I narrowed down my suppliers just based on asking people, just seeing how the communication is. Because if you are not able to have a good communication, like how fast are they replying to you? Are they replying to you? Can they speak English? Right? And things like that. Let's say not even like verbal, maybe it should be written. How good is their English just written? And then I just selected based on that, narrowed it down to 5, ordered 5 samples, got the 5 samples, got the first sample, it was actually our supplier, waited for the other samples, they're crap, went with our first one, and then that's history.
We had about 10 actually.
10? Okay,
yeah,
10.
It was about 10 samples and we hated all of them except for the first one. And that was very, lucky, I would say, still to a point, because we knew that if we don't love the product, we can't go into business. Like, I can't sell something I don't love. And the first sample we ever received was something we loved. And we recently changed the manufacturers, but for the first 5 years, that's the manufacturer we were using.
The second thing I'll say with the journal, or the big, like, once again, the biggest secret I can give you now, and this could be worth the entry of this, is there's a product called Pangiva. Pangiva. This is not a plug, I don't get paid for them. It's a fairly expensive product, but it's honestly, it's like, it's too good to be true. Basically, you can search any company, most likely, and you will, let's say you want to find, when we're sourcing, say, for the productivity planner or 5-minute journal, I would put in like Chronicle Books. So Chronicle Books is a big publisher in the US that I highly respect. And you find their company name and you put it in there, and then you're able to find their actual suppliers that ship them. And you can see, because the way they get that information is based on import records in the US, right? So they scan import records and then they give you a database. And through there, you're able to then see the suppliers. And then through those suppliers to those big things, you're able to then contact them and find them. So this is the best thing ever. And we've sourced multiple levels on that, and it's highly, highly helpful. Of course, if you have to be, sometimes you have to get sneaky, see what their actual trading name is, because sometimes they will import under different names, and they get like secretive and things like that at higher levels. But Pangiva is one of the biggest. I don't even talk about it a lot because I don't want people to know about it.
Just realize what people are searching for, right? So it's not about deceiving them, obviously, but it's like, if you're talking about raising frequency, maybe you want to title the video, How to Be Happy. That's something people are constantly searching for. But are people searching for how to raise frequency? That's a bit more like advanced, right? So you gotta simplify your message so that it's more digestible for the regular public.
And most importantly, I want to share with you, when we started and when we were creating videos, we're hustling across the web. Meaning, go on forums where people might be in your niche and look for what they're asking. That may be like a Quora, that may be a certain high frequency energy forum, I don't know where it may be. So at the beginning, what we do is we go like in Yahoo Answers, on hair forums, and we wouldn't spam, but we would look out for people who are searching for certain content. And we would then either create content and share it with them, be like, hey, you're looking for a Kim Kardashian hairstyle? Here, I created one. This is the one you're looking for. Let me know if this helps you out. So you're not spamming. You actually provide them value once again. But you want to, because when you're starting out, I understand, especially now, there's so much information going out. So you do have to go out of your way to try to find where the audience is, and then be able to provide value to them. And be like, hey, like I made a similar video on whatever topic, whatever this bigger person may have made. I see people commenting on my videos all the time. Not all of them are effective, but the ones that are effective, let's say on Nini's videos or my videos, where it may be, is when people are actually adding some value to the conversation, and they're saying like, hey, Alex mentioned this, I actually made a video on this, you can check it out or talk about it. So you're connecting somehow, you're actually adding value, and then then people go over, trust me, people will catch it, because there's already eyeballs there, and then they transfer over. But you do have to do this hustle, so I do agree, get strategic and all that stuff.
I think we're going to get another question.
Thank you so much.